I think it's insane that in this current society, or at least in the perspective that I live in, we are supposed to find ways to monetize our passions and our hobbies as a means of survival. It's definitely been a minute, and I can't promise you that I'm not gonna go MIA again, but I want to say hello to everyone that is here in this community. Since I last posted, I've gained a lot of new subscribers and people to this community, so I just want to say hello and welcome, and thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And to start this video, I just want to say, fuck capitalism. Why am I out here finding ways to turn my hobbies and my passions and my interests into money? One pattern that I've definitely seen in myself and also those around me that I've had conversation with about this is that we feel pressure to monetize our hobbies and to monetize our interests and essentially find a way to turn those passions into money. I can't just enjoy the things that I like to enjoy and invest in the things that I want to invest in without feeling like I need to receive something in return for it. And I'm not saying that that's a bad route to go, because that's literally what I'm doing, but I feel like as a creator, and creators and artists in general kind of fall into this mindset that we have a talent for something, we have an interest in something, so instead of doing a 9-to-5 and using the conveyor belt method to a 9-to-5 career, we want to exploit our gifts and exploit our talents and turn that into our career. And in no way am I trying to minimize or belittle that thought process, because that's literally what I'm doing. But I just find it super unfortunate that that's what we have to do to survive. And we essentially, or at least I'm not, able to simply enjoy the fact that I like herbalism and enjoy my hobbies and enjoy my talents without feeling like something needs to come from it. I should not develop an interest in herbalism and an interest in holistic wellness and then eventually lead myself to finding a way to monetize that, because it's too expensive for me to just enjoy these things without actively using them as another means or an asset to my monetary income. It's just like super frustrating, because the reason that I started TikTok was because I had knowledge to share and because I was getting into herbalism, and I wanted to spread this information because it's something that meant something to me and something that I knew would have a positive impact on those who needed it. And I understand too that it doesn't have to go this route. Like, I very much could just remove money from the equation and I could just continue to produce videos and information and give energy to something that I genuinely have interest in. But a reality for me is I am currently living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't want to live that way. It's uncomfortable for me. And so one of the best solutions to that is to not only have my 9-to-5, my job, but also find ways to monetize my interests and things that are already set up for me to bank off of. And this is something that I've spoken to friends about before, and the underlying feeling we have is just like frustration, because we don't want to feel like our interests and our passions need to be commodified. And I think a lot of times creators and artists see their passions and their gifts and interests as a way out of the conveyor belt of the 9-to-5 and having this whole career, and really using it to their advantage, that they have an interest and they have a talent for something that can produce income. And you know how they say, if you do something you love, you won't work a day in your life, which is true, but also it's unfortunate that we have to think like that we have to experience that mindset and go, oh, I really enjoy herbalism and I enjoy making content. I enjoy holistic wellness, and because of that, maybe this could be my career. Maybe this is something that will produce money for me in a way that I could survive and be comfortable and be happier than going to a 9-to-5 job where I have no passion in, you know? And it's just like, honestly, to me, it just feels like two sides of the same coin, because both of them are heavily adjusted towards capitalism and the idea that we need money to survive and to live and to even have interests and to have hobbies and be able to pursue things outside of a job itself. So I kind of want to start at the beginning and kind of give more context as to how I ended up deciding that I wanted to create content, because honestly, people ask me this question all the time, and I feel like there isn't a direct path. I think it's something that I fell into, and on top of that, I fell into creating content as a means of income. But before I get into it, please like and subscribe for Frankie. He is in a very emotionally abusive relationship with my cat Faye, and any money that I make from this video will go towards his GoFundMe to get him a safe home away from my cat. Or you could just like and subscribe because you want to hear me talk. I started creating content, I want to say around 2 years ago, and it was mainly because I developed a very strong interest and passion in holistic wellness, and specifically herbalism and reproductive and womb health. And getting into that is a completely different story that is just like minimally connected to what I want to talk about today. So I will make another video talking about how I got into herbalism. But the reason that that's important is because I honestly never thought about making content until I got into herbalism, and I was suddenly filled with information that I found valuable for myself and I believe would be valuable for others, and I had no real way to honestly share it, because my platforms before this was really just like personal, like, oh, I went here, I did this, or I took cute pictures, like here I am. Like there wasn't any direction or I guess real point to it past my own pleasure. So I decided to start making TikToks talking about herbalism, one, because I was craving community, and two, because I wanted to build community as well. So when I first started making content, I honestly didn't have any idea how much it would grow. A goal was to see my account grow and find people that were like-minded or had similar interests. So in that sense, I really was hoping that my account would grow, but I did not know that it would grow to the extent that it did, and I didn't realize how much of a financial asset it would be to talk about literally the things that I enjoy. And another thing that's important to mention is another reason that I made a TikTok account is because I wanted to have an apothecary. And I knew that if I wanted customers, I needed a way to connect to people that would be interested in my product. So that's also another reason why I created TikTok. But honestly, based off of how I've been using TikTok, that really doesn't show up. I think there's only a handful of times that I've ever truly promoted myself on TikTok, and that's like other trauma. That's like imposter syndrome. So another video. But yeah, so there's a couple reasons why I started making content, and it kind of just like snowballed into what it is today, where I still make content on TikTok, but it's not as specific as it used to be, honestly. It's not as niche. I was strictly herbalism, strictly spirituality, and not that I grew out of that, but I am honestly just like burnt out. I kind of just like hit a wall creatively in terms of what I wanted to talk about. And even though there's an infinite amount of information that I could pull from, that I have, that I could simply post about, as far as having the energy behind creating that, I've kind of just like hit a wall. So that's where I was previously before making this video, and I feel a lot better now, but I feel like I've also pivoted. And when I say pivot, I don't mean that I'm going a completely different direction just because herbalism and holistic living and locks and spirituality and wellness are all things that very much exist in my life still, and that's something that I'm interested in talking about. But I have come to a realization that I mainly crave to just create authentic content, and whether or not financial gain comes from that, I am using my content creation as a way to express myself. I want to use it as a form of art and self-expression, and not just the goal of making money. And I think the best way for me to do that is, one, create more content on YouTube where I'm just talking to you guys and not having an agenda of, if I talk about this will get the best views and blah, 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 and all those things that run through content creators' mind constantly, and just take a step back and create from the heart and with information and ideas and thoughts that come from me that I genuinely want to share. So that's my main thing. But also too, I think I've come into this realization that I'm also kind of just like over TikTok. I feel like as someone who has been making content on TikTok for a couple years, you could definitely see different eras of TikTok, both in trends as well as just the energy around the app and what's happening. And I feel like I joined TikTok at the height of the for educational purposes TikTok, where people were spreading a lot of information and people were honing in on their interests and their hobbies and really just using that as content. And that's definitely still there, but I feel like right now what's popular is like CapCut videos and making shorts and funny comments, and it's just like insufferable. And it's made me less motivated to post on TikTok, because I know if I sit in front of the screen and talk for 3 minutes about herbs, my core community I think would resonate really well with that, and those that are here right now and people who have come along with me on the journey would really like that. But also that's not really what gets views right now, and so that's really frustrating. And I feel like there's a big disconnect between what TikTok is pushing, because ideally that's what they want to push, and what's currently popular with consumers. And that's just an observation that I've made. That doesn't mean it's true. This is something that I just feel for my account and what I've seen in posting and what's worked for me in the past and what's currently working for me now. So I think, for one, I won't get rid of my TikTok just because it has grown to be such a big community. I don't think I would just throw it away, but I also know that I will significantly be taking back a lot of the energy that I've put into TikTok and put it here onto this space in YouTube. I'll also be real honest with y'all. TikTok does not pay well per views, and so for me to put so much energy into a platform that honestly doesn't really pay me except for when I manage to get brand deals based off of my status on the app. On YouTube, as many people know, it's a lot better in terms of being paid per views, and I won't have to be so dependent on brands to have income. And that's my goal, because I love doing brand deals and partnerships and collaborations with brands that are aligned with who I am and what I like and what I do. But I don't want to feel like I have to constantly bombard my community with these brand deals because I'm trying to make a living. You know, I want this to be a space where I could talk about what I want to talk about, and we can grow and we can converse over those topics, versus me having to give you guys random spiels about brands because that's how I'll make money with y'all. And I think just looking at all the options in terms of a platform to plant myself with, I feel like I'm just best aligned with YouTube given where I'm at right now and what I want to do and what my goals are. So that's why I think right now YouTube is the best platform for me, and all my other platforms are essentially just to keep a face on those platforms and to keep giving content and to keep bringing life into my hobbies. But I think all the real information will be here from now on. And honestly, I have a lot to say, and I think another reason why I'm kind of moving away from TikTok is because TikTok was really limiting on who I could be on that app. You know, I niched down really quick, and that led to a lot of success in terms of gaining a following, but it was also very limiting to the fact that I am a multifaceted person and I have multiple interests and multiple things that I want to talk about and could talk about, and I really felt like I couldn't on TikTok. If it wasn't herbalism, no one was really there. And once again, I know it's not all about views and who's watching and who's listening, because I think my messages did find the people that they were supposed to find, but it was disheartening to know that I couldn't fully be myself on that app without making sure everything was very specific to the algorithm. Honestly, I feel like people that subscribe to you on YouTube are like the realest, because I think about all the people that I've subscribed to in the past on YouTube, and the reason that I subscribed is because I felt a very strong connection to what it is that they were talking about. You know, it wasn't just like I saw one random video that was 8 seconds and I thought they were funny, so I followed them. It was like I sat on my bed for 50 minutes listening to somebody talk because I found it interesting. And that's the kind of connection that I want to have with y'all. I don't want to post funnies on my TikTok about herbs and herbalism that are striking and interesting, so it leads people to follow and honestly probably never see my content again. I want to be able to talk about herbs for 50 minutes and know that the people that watched that video were genuinely interested in the things that I had to say, not just waiting for the laugh or waiting for the most interesting 3-second bit of information that I gave. And honestly, I feel like it's really hard for me to say this because a large part of me is so geared towards the conveyor belt of careers, of getting the 9 to 5 and the real job, that it's hard for me to sit here and admit that I want to give a significant amount of my time to creating content in hopes that it will pay off in the future. So doing this, sitting here and doing this is like my attempt to find out what I really want to do and follow my instincts and my intuitions that's telling me that this is something that's important, and it's important to share, and it's important to talk about and be transparent about, because I also don't want this to be an account where everything is candid and I talk about herbs and herbalism and all the things that I'm interested in as if it doesn't matter to me whether or not I make money from it, because ultimately right now in the position that I'm in, it does, you know, and I wish it wasn't. And hopefully in the future, I'll be able to make content with ease and feel like nothing has to come from it. I think that would be the ultimate goal. But right now, that is one of the motives for me sitting here. And I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that. Okay. I think I got everything that I wanted to say out. I feel like I always go into this with a lot more to say because my mind be going off when I'm not in front of the camera. I literally will go through entire videos in the shower, but as soon as I get on this camera, I have no thoughts. Yeah, honestly, all in all, in conclusion, I'm done with TikTok for real. No, I'm not deleting my accounts. Yes, I will still be posting, but just know that I am essentially just doing that to face. And if you want the real me and you want to connect in a way that is more than 8 seconds long, then this is where I will be. I'm gonna say it again. If you haven't already, please like. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. And yeah, have an amazing day.